Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are treating the massive WordPress 7.0 update not as just some routine click, but as a critical mission briefing for your server. If you're used to just hitting that update button and, going about your day, you really need to pause because the ground underneath your website has fundamentally shifted. So, before you even think about clicking that update button, we have to ask, is your current hosting environment truly prepared for the heavy demands of this new platform? We're going to find out exactly what those demands are because the minimum requirements to run your site just went up in a major way. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll look at the big WordPress update, check your server specs quickly, escape some nasty PHP security risks, break down the new database and AI needs, and wrap up with a safe upgrade action plan. All right, Section 1, the big WordPress update, a platform shift. Let's dive right in and understand exactly what changed on May 20, 2026. The source article really hits the nail on the head here. WordPress 7.0 is fundamentally different from the updates we've seen over the last decade. For years, the requirements barely moved. PHP 8.0 worked fine, older databases chugged along, and frankly, we all got a little too comfortable. But WordPress 7.0 completely shatters that pattern. It is a true platform shift. So what's actually driving this massive shift? Well, we're looking at some seriously heavy new additions. Things like the Abilities API, a built-in WP AI client, standardized AI connectors, and a totally revamped data views admin redesign. Because of these resource-heavy additions, the minimum hosting bar has been raised significantly. If you're on a budget shared plan that caps your resources, this update might literally instantly give you the dreaded white screen of death. Moving along to Section 2, checking server specs quickly, the diagnostic tour. Let's look over my shoulder and diagnose your current setup without any of the usual tech anxiety. Okay, let's dive into a really simple technical guide. You can easily verify if you meet the WordPress 7.0 requirements straight through your admin dashboard using this exact pathway. Step 1, just go to Tools in your left-hand menu. Step 2, click on Site Health. Step 3, select the Info tab at the top. And Step 4, open the Server drop-down menu. That's it. No command line required, just a few simple clicks. Once you open that server tab, the absolute most crucial thing is to identify precisely which versions of PHP and MySQL you are currently running. Those two numbers are the absolute key to knowing if your site will survive the 7.0 update or if you're heading straight for a broken dashboard. Which brings us to Section 3, escaping PHP security risks, the end-of-life danger. Now that you know your numbers, let's talk about why your current PHP version might be a ticking time bomb. The danger zones are incredibly clear right now. If you're on PHP 7.4 or 8.1, you are already operating entirely without a safety net since 8.1 actually hit its limit back in December 2025. What you absolutely want to aim for are those safe green zones. That means PHP 8.3 and 8.4, which offer security support well into 2027 and 2028. Just to be incredibly clear, when we say PHP 8.1 is end of life, it means 0 security patches are coming to save you from vulnerabilities. None. It's a totally unsupported software version. Surprisingly, a massive number of budget-shared hosting plans still default new installations to PHP 8.1, simply because it saves them money on infrastructure, but it forces you to pay the ultimate price in security exposure. The contrast here is pretty wild. Skipping the outdated versions and jumping straight to PHP 8.4 not only buys you years of guaranteed security, but it also provides a massive performance benefit. Independent benchmarks show roughly a 21% speed boost for WooCommerce stores when moving to 8.4. It's definitely the smart long-term choice. All right, Section 4, database and AI needs beyond just PHP. We need to talk about the silent killer of WordPress 7.0 updates, your database and your memory limits. WordPress 7.0 raises the minimum database to MySQL 8.0 for a very specific reason. The brand new Data Views admin interface relies entirely on modern database behaviors, specifically things like window functions and common table expressions that older databases like MySQL 5.7 simply cannot handle. If your host hasn't upgraded your database, those new admin tables will likely fail silently or just output constant errors. 512, that is the absolute minimum number of megabytes of PHP memory you need configured on your server today. The new Abilities API and the WP AI client need serious headroom to operate. The old WordPress defaults of 64 or 128 megabytes, yeah, they will cause these exciting new AI features to silently crash or generate fatal errors. Furthermore, Because these new AI features make outbound API calls to providers like OpenAI or Google Gemini, your server's identity actually matters. Having a dedicated IP address prevents your site from being rate limited due to a neighbor's bad traffic on a shared IP. A dedicated IP gives your AI tools a clean, isolated, and highly trusted identity. Finally, Section 5, Safe Upgrade Action Plan, the final checklist. Let's wrap this up with a bulletproof action plan to get your sites upgraded safely. Okay, let's dive into some specific tips for the agency folks managing a dozen or more client sites. These are your strategic plays. First, force the conversation with your host right now about their bulk MySQL 8.0 migration timelines. Next, always verify plugin compatibility before shifting to PHP 8.4. You can easily utilize tools like cPanel Multi-PHP Manager for instant version switching. And critically, demand one-click staging environments. Seriously, do not test these massive infrastructure changes on live client sites. For everyone else, here's your ultimate checklist for success. Follow these 5 steps in this exact order to ensure your transition to WordPress 7.0 is completely anxiety-free. Step 1, back up everything off-site. Step 2, clone your site to a staging environment. Step 3, upgrade your PHP to 8.3 or 8.4 on staging and test it. Step 4, upgrade your database to MySQL 8.0. And finally, Step 5, update the WordPress core on staging, verify the new data views work, and only then push the update to your live production site. The quality of your hosting infrastructure is the ultimate multiplier for your site's success. It dictates your speed, your security, and your ability to leverage these powerful new tools. So, leaving you with this thought today. Knowing that WordPress 7.0 is a massive platform shift, what is your next move going to be? Will you update blind and hope for the best, or will you verify first? Thank you for checking out this explainer. Ensure your foundation is solid and keep learning.